Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Emma, and today we're diving into something that seems simple, but actually trips up almost every English learner.
Hey friends, I'm Jake. Today's topic is over versus above. These two words both talk about position, but they're used in very different situations.
If you're watching this because you weren't sure when to say over and when to say above, you're in exactly the right place. We've got you covered.
And after you watch, if you find this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. Help us reach more English learners like you. Also, if there's another English topic you want us to cover, tell us in the comments. We literally create videos based on your requests.
All right. Let's be real, over and above are tricky, 'cause they both describe something being higher than something else. But they're actually quite different in how they're used. Once you understand how they work, you'll realize the difference is pretty logical.
Let's break it down together. By the end of this episode, you'll never confuse over and above again. I promise you that.
Here's the interesting thing. Over and above can sometimes describe the same physical position, but they're used in completely different contexts. Let me give you a simple comparison first.
Above means something is at a higher level or position. No contact, no movement, just higher than something else. Static position.
Over means something is directly on top of, covering, or crossing something. It often involves movement, coverage, or a sense of spanning across.
So above is about a higher position. Over is about covering, crossing, or being directly on top. Different concepts, same general area of meaning.
Example, the plane is flying above the clouds. This means the plane is at a higher altitude than the clouds. No specific coverage, just higher position.
But she put a blanket over the sleeping child. This means the blanket covers the child. Over suggests coverage and contact here. See the difference?
Let's explore each word separately so you really understand them completely. This is going to make so much sense by the end of this episode. I promise you it will click.
Let's talk about above first. This word means at a higher level or position than something else. No movement, no coverage, just elevation or rank.
Above describes a static position. Something is simply higher than something else. No action, no covering involved.
Example: the temperature is above 30 degrees. The temperature level is higher than 30. No movement, just a measurement position.
Another, her name is listed above mine on the form. Her name appears at a higher position on the page. Static, no movement, just relative position.
Above can also describe rank or authority. No physical position involved at all. The manager is above the assistant in the company. Or this task is above my skill level. Above here means beyond or exceeding a certain level.
Here's important, above usually suggests no direct contact. Things are separate, one just happens to be higher. The bird flew above the rooftop. The bird and rooftop are not touching. Separate things, different heights, no coverage.
Above works well with numbers and measurements. Temperatures above freezing. Scores above average. Speeds above the limit. All describe levels that exceed a reference point.
Above also appears in formal or written contexts, as mentioned above, referring to earlier text. The above information, referring to something stated before. These are very common in written English.
The key concept with above is elevation without contact. Something is higher, whether physically, in rank, or in measurement. No covering, no crossing, just higher position.
Now let's explore over. This word has a very different meaning and function from above entirely.
Over means something is directly above and often covering something, or moving across something. It suggests a closer, more active relationship between two things.
Example: the bridge goes over the river. The bridge spans across and above the river. Over shows the crossing movement and coverage.
Another, she wore a jacket over her shirt. The jacket covers the shirt. Over here means covering, direct contact, and coverage.
Over is very common with movement and actions. Cat jumped over the fence, movement across. He leaned over the table, movement downward and across. She looked over her shoulder, turning and crossing a direction.
Over also means more than when talking about numbers. Over 100 people came to the event. This is similar to above with numbers. But over feels more informal and conversational. Above feels more precise and formal.
Over goes at various positions in a sentence. The lamp hangs over the table, middle position. Come over here, end position. Over time, things change, beginning position. Over is flexible in sentence position.
Over also has many phrasal verb uses. Get over something, recover from it. Think over a decision, consider it carefully. Take over a company, assume control. These phrasal uses are completely different from the positional meaning, but same word context makes the meaning clear.
The key concept with over is coverage, crossing, or spanning. Something is directly above and involved with what's below. Movement, coverage, or spanning across, that's over.
Let's do a direct comparison. Same situation, different words. See exactly how meaning changes.
Situation: a light in a room, two different sentences. The light is above the table. Versus the lamp hangs over the table.
First one means the light is at a higher position than the table. Above higher position, no specific coverage implied. Second means the lamp hangs directly over the table, illuminating it. Over directly above, covering the area below.
First focuses on relative height. Second focuses on the lamp's direct relationship with the table. Different emphasis entirely.
Another situation, crossing a river, two ways. The helicopter flew above the river. Versus the bridge stretches over the river.
First means the helicopter was at a higher altitude than the river. Above, just higher, no spanning or coverage. Second means the bridge spans across the river from one side to the other. Over, crossing and spanning.
Both sentences describe something higher than the river. But the speaker's focus and emphasis are completely different. Above focuses on altitude and position. Over focuses on the spanning, crossing relationship.
Another pair. Temperature rose above normal. Versus the debate went on for over an hour.
First uses above for a measurement level being exceeded. Second uses over for an amount being exceeded. Both mean more than, but above sounds more formal and precise. Over sounds more natural in casual conversation.
This difference is subtle but really important for using these words correctly.
Let's look at how above and over work in different contexts. This is really important for correct usage.
Above works well with measurements and scales: above zero, above average, above the speed limit. Rank and hierarchy: above the manager, above my pay grade. Written reference: as stated above, the above example. Static physical position: the shelf above the desk.
Over works well with Movement in action: jump over, fly over, lean over. Coverage: a cloth over the table, a roof over our heads. Amounts in casual speech: over 100, over 50 people. Phrasal verbs: get over, take over, think over. Spanning a bridge over the water, a rainbow over the valley.
The context requirement shows why these words are different. Above is precise and static. Over is active and relational.
Let's do a practical exercise. I'll give you sentences. You decide above or over.
Sentence 1. The painting hangs blank the fireplace. Above or over?
Both could work here actually. Above, it's at a higher position, static. Over, it hangs directly above and covers that wall space. Both are acceptable here. This is one of those overlap situations.
Sentence 2. She pulled the covers blank her head. Above or over?
Over, the covers move and cover her head. Coverage and contact: that's over.
Sentence 3. The temperature stayed blank freezing last night. Above or over?
Above, we're talking about a measurement level. Above freezing is the standard expression here.
Sentence 4. The plane flew blank the mountains. Above or over?
Both work, but with slightly different meaning. Above the mountains, higher altitude than the mountains, static position. Over the mountains, crossing across them, movement sense. If the plane is crossing from one side to the other, over. If just describing altitude, above.
Sentence 5. There are blank 200 students in this school. Above or over?
Over in casual speech, over 200 is more natural. Above 200 also works but sounds more formal.
Sentence 6. She wore a scarf blank her coat. Above or over?
Over, the scarf covers part of her coat. Coverage and contact: that's over.
Sentence 7. His score was blank the class average. Above or over?
Above, comparing to a reference level, measurement, context. Above average is the standard expression.
Sentence 8. The children ran blank the hill. Above or over?
Over, movement across and beyond the hill. Crossing movement: that's over.
Excellent work, everyone.
Let's look at some nuances. Above and over can both appear in the same sentence sometimes. And that's where it gets really interesting.
The helicopter hovered above the crowd, directly over the stage. Above describes the general higher position. Over describes the specific area directly below it. Both add meaning together.
Above shows the altitude relationship to the crowd. Over shows the precise positioning above the stage. Combined, they give a very complete picture of location.
Another is, the temperature climbed to above average, well over 30 degrees. Above average, exceeding the reference measurement level. Over 30, exceeding the specific number informally. Both describe exceeding something but from different angles.
Understanding these nuances helps you sound more natural when expressing position and quantity in conversations.
Let's talk about over and its other uses. Over as meaning finished or ended. This is a different function entirely.
This is where over gets interesting because it has multiple meanings.
Example, the meeting is over. Over here means finished, ended, done. Nothing to do with position at all.
Another, get over it, means recover and move past something. Over here means beyond, past, finished with. This over is about completion and moving past something.
This over is different from over describing position, but it shows how flexible the word is. Context makes the meaning clear.
When you see over, think, is it describing position or coverage? Or is it describing something finished or a phrasal verb? context decides.
Let's create mental pictures to remember above versus over forever.
Think of above as a measuring stick. You're measuring how high something is compared to something else. No touching, no covering, just measuring the height difference. That's above, a clear gap between two things at different levels.
Imagine a thermometer. The mercury is above the line. The level exceeds the reference point. No contact between the mercury and the line concept. That's above, higher level measurement, no coverage.
Think of over as an umbrella. The umbrella is directly above you and covers you. It spans across, it protects, it covers. That's over, something directly above with a covering or spanning relationship.
Imagine a bridge. It goes over the water. Spans from one bank to the other, directly above the river. That's over, crossing, spanning, directly above with involvement.
Above equals measuring stick height and level comparison. Over equals umbrella coverage, spanning, direct involvement.
Once you have these mental pictures in your mind, choosing between above and over becomes automatic in conversations.
Let's look at real English sentences using above and over correctly.
I hung the new clock above the window. Above shows the clock's position is higher than the window. Static position, no coverage, just higher.
She draped a white sheet over the furniture while painting. Over shows the sheet covers the furniture. Coverage and contact, that's over.
His performance was well above expectations. Above shows his performance exceeded the reference level. Measurement and comparison, that's above.
The game went on for over 3 hours. Over shows the amount exceeded 3 hours. Casual quantity expression, that's over.
The stars shine above us every night. Above shows the stars are at a higher position than us. Static, elevated position, that's above.
Please look over my report before I submit it. Over here is a phrasal verb. Look over means review. Completely different from positional above or over.
Your overall fluency increases when you understand these subtle distinctions. People take you more seriously as a speaker when you use these words correctly and naturally.
Let's explore some common phrases using above. These are expressions you'll hear constantly.
Above all means most importantly. Above all, stay safe, most important thing.
Above board means honest and transparent. The deal was completely above board, nothing hidden.
Above and beyond means more than expected. She went above and beyond for her team, exceeded expectations.
Above the law means not subject to rules. Nobody is above the law, everyone must follow rules.
Head and shoulders above means much better than others. She's head and shoulders above the rest of the team.
Let's explore some common phrases using over.
Over the moon means extremely happy. She was over the moon about the news, very excited.
Over the top means excessive or exaggerated. That reaction was a bit over the top, too much.
All over means everywhere or finished. It's all over, it's finished, or it's everywhere.
Over and over means repeatedly. He made the same mistake over and over again and again.
Start over means begin again from the beginning. Let's start over from scratch, begin fresh again.
Let's summarize the key concepts about above and over that everyone absolutely needs to remember.
Summary time. Let's consolidate everything into key takeaways clearly.
Key point 1: above means at a higher level or position. Something is simply higher, with a gap between the two things.
Key point 2. Over means directly above with coverage or spanning. Something covers, crosses, or spans what is below it.
Key point 3 above works well with measurements and scales. Above average, above freezing, above the speed limit.
Key point 4 over works well with movement and coverage. Jump over, spread over, hang over.
Key point 5 above suggests no contact between things. The shelf above the desk, they are separate.
Key point 6 over often suggests coverage or direct involvement. A blanket over the bed, it covers the bed.
Key point 7 for quantities, both work but differently. Above sounds more formal and precise. Over sounds more casual and conversational.
Key point 8 over has many phrasal verb uses. Get over, take over, look over, these are separate meanings entirely.
Key point 9 both words can sometimes be used in the same place. The lamp above the table and the lamp over the table. Both can work, context and emphasis decide.
Key point 10 above appears in written reference language. As mentioned above, the above example, formal written use.
Key point 11 mental pictures help. Above is a measuring stick height and level. Over is an umbrella coverage and spanning.
Key point 12 these words are fundamental. They appear constantly in English communication every day.
All right, everyone. We've covered a lot of ground with above and over today thoroughly. Hopefully, this episode has cleared up the confusion about these two position words for you completely.
If you found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel. It really does help us create more content. And if there's another grammar topic confusing you, write it in the comments. We create videos based on your requests.
Keep practicing above and over in your daily English. Use them in conversations and writing. The more you practice, the more automatic and natural these words become.
You're doing amazing work learning English. Keep pushing, keep practicing. Keep improving every single day. Small, consistent steps are how you become fluent and confident in English communication.
Thanks so much for watching Clarity English Podcast. We absolutely appreciate your dedication to learning. See you in the next episode, friends.
Keep mastering English one word at a time. Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye, friends.